So this is absolutely hilarious. There's a video from Steven Crowder some years back. I can't remember. I think it was 2012, I want to say. It's beyond hilarious because what you're going to see here is he's going to be whining about not being able to get on the Jon Stewart show, and he's also going to make a lot of bullshit claims here.
TV, I need to update you on the Jon Stewart situation. Now, as many of you know, I created a video in which I released a private email from a senior producer at The Daily Show, in which they said, "We never book conservative pundits." Those aren't sarcastic quotes, they're real quotes. Well, it caused quite a stir, enough for Mr. Stewart himself to be upset and said producer to furiously call my manager. Turns out it was an email sent to him, not to me. Long story short, he made it known that he had mouths to feed and he would have to put some distance between himself and I in order to maintain a viable career. Listen, folks, he is a really good man and I don't blame him one bit. Also, The Daily Show is a private entity. They can book whomever they want and exclude whomever they want. They don't owe anybody anything. Now, let me be clear, Jon Stewart's both hilarious and brilliant. And the reason the folks at The Daily Show are upset is not because of regret for their discriminatory policies, or not because I was dishonest. There's no dispute whatsoever as to what was in the email, but because the curtain has now been pulled back on Jon Stewart. The man has made a career off of accusing others of harmful bias.
See, to me, it seemed that Fox was a relentless, agenda-driven, 24-hour news-pinion propaganda delivery system covered with the thinnest possible patina of objectivity that would allow them to claim a mantle of totally undeserved legitimacy.
And so he doesn't want you to see this. See, John will tell you that there's nothing he hates more than partisan politics.
Your partisan, what do you call it, hacks.
But...
See, the thing is, we need your help. Right now you're helping the politicians and the corporations, and we're left out there to mow our lawns.
You just said we're too rough on them when they make mistakes.
No, you're not too rough on them. You're part of their strategies.
See, John would never help a politician. Plus, he makes funny faces, so we know when to laugh. See, John and his producers don't like the fact that he's been pointed out as arguably the single most biased figure in news media or entertainment, because that disrupts the whole moderate narrative.
We will gather on the National Mall in Washington, D.C., a million moderate march where we take to the streets to send a message to our leaders and our national media that says, we are here. We're only here, though, until 6 because we have a sitter.
See, he says he's a moderate, but someone disagrees with that. No, it's not me. It's his boss, Doug Herzog. This next exclusive audio comes to us courtesy of Ben Shapiro.
What do you make of all the controversy surrounding Jon Stewart and accusations that he's been, very, very soft on Barack Obama while being incredibly harsh on George W. Bush?
Well, first of all, Barack Obama's been in office all of a minute, so I think when 4 years are over, we can have that discussion. I think there's no question where John's heart lies. I think he wears it on his sleeve to a certain degree. And you have to go back and look at, how the Clinton administration was treated. It's hard for me to separate my own personal politics from the discussion. But, I think George Bush was just an easier target.
Well, there you have it. Not only do Hollywood and media have a bias that they attempt to hide at all costs, but they also operate through a system of instilling fear into both talent and representation in order to stifle voices of dissent and selectively edit the national dialogue, while they pose as nothing more than moderates. But at least they make funny faces.
So Steven Crowder in this entire video not only misleads people with the email, but he also has this underlying bullshit equivalency. So first of all, Jon Stewart's very open that he's left-wing or that he supports Obama, but That does not mean that he doesn't criticize Obama or whoever. I mean, think about all the jokes and shit that they've done on Obama, and the idea that he doesn't criticize them at all is wrong, and he's very open about his support. So when you're talking about what you're misleading people with by saying, oh, he's the most biased, there's no way they're more biased than Fox News, first of all. But what you're mistaking is you're equating Jon Stewart's Daily Show, which, as he often says, the show that leads into him is, Muppets making crank phone calls. You're equating his show on Comedy Central to all the news outlets, and specifically Crossfire. Crossfire has the sole job. They have the responsibility. Their entire mantra of the show is to bring on two people and keep them in check. And so when they're not doing that, they are fucking up. And Jon Stewart's not the person to come in and save the day. He has a show on Comedy Central. He's not an opposing rivalrous news network. He doesn't have Jon Stewart News. He doesn't have JSN. He has a fucking comedy show in which he makes fun of people. And then when he calls him a moderate, that's wrong. He's not a moderate. He's a left-winger. Maybe he's a left-wing moderate. But when he did that rally, it's the idea of bringing people from all sides over. Not that, oh, let's have a moderate congregation. That's not what he was saying at all. And again, the idea that he doesn't converse with the right or some shit like that, think about all the debates. He's had hours of debates with Bill O'Reilly. He's had a bunch of conservatives on all the time. And so this idea is just ridiculous. And I gotta say, it was pretty funny because he also brings up Ben Shapiro in there, and this idea of, like, as he's trying to say at the end where he says, oh, they're trying to put fear in your heads. You know what he did there? He played a clip from a Ben Shapiro video that was using the fear-mongering tactic. As I always explain, fear-mongering is one of the big tactics of the right, if not the biggest, throughout the Iraq War, today, etc., etc. It always will be. And so the irony of him using the fear-mongering tactic while bitching about other people fear-mongering is so rich. And this is just embarrassing, man. It's so embarrassing. Like, the idea that Jon Stewart isn't somebody who will debate, massively is embarrassing, because think about all of the fucking debates that the man has had.